watching Bloomberg UTV.
Also, like we've been telling you, a few additions as far as the F&O market is concerned. Core Projects is one of those stocks. Of course, the U.S. education arm has gone ahead and bagged a contract worth $24 million as well, which is basically for a program for 375 schools in the U.S. So that's one of the newsmaker of the day. That's the clear-cut reactions coming on your screen. The stock is up 3.5%. We have the CEO, Mr. Shekhar Iyer, joining us now. Very good morning to you, Mr. Iyer. If you could give us some details regarding this particular order. Most of the orders, in fact, come from US and UK now. So do you think that the global economy could actually go ahead and impact your business from here on?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you very much for having me on your line. This is a very significant order for us, given the nature of the tough economic environment we are all operating in. It's also very encouraging to note that the education spend is getting more robust, not only in the U.S., but in other continents we operate, like UK, Africa, Middle East, and India. Now, this particular order is about $24 million over 5 years. We have been working with the LA Unified School District, where we're catering to about 375 schools, 700,000 kids, for the past 5 years. So this is a new renewal after a long tendering process, bidding process, for another 5 years. In addition to this, we also have about 95% renewal rate in most of our other state contracts we operate in Texas, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Maine, and other places. So it's very encouraging to see the global changes happening and the bigger spends that are happening in education, especially in the U.S. with the Race to the Top program and other initiatives. So it's overall been a very encouraging year, given that we also have very explosive growth prospects in mind.
Okay, there has been a lot of headwinds that the currency has been facing, both the euro as well as the dollar. How do you see that going ahead and impacting your business from here on?
Not very much, because we operate in different markets. In the U.S., our growth in the U.S. in dollar terms are also outgrowing whatever the currency fluctuations are. So in that sense, it is not affecting us too much.
Okay. Also, if you could focus on your logistics business, it contributes roughly around 2.5% to your entire revenues. Is your company really looking at trying and focusing more on the logistics side?
Education is a primary focus. Outside of education, we also do work in the IT space and commercial and logistics. That's a small portion of our overall business. But our major strength is always going to be a focus on education, as an education-centric and a learning company with product-centric offerings that we have.
Okay. What about for the fiscal year 2011? How do you see your order book really shaping up? And what is the target that you have set for yourself? And do you see you meeting these targets as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think the target we set in fiscal year 2011 is about 1,150 crores. Our order book today is over $100 million. We have renewed several large contracts, not only in the U.S., but also secured very large contracts in India as well. So we feel very comfortable meeting our target of 1,150 crores with the orders that we have. In addition to the organic growth we have in mind, we're also looking at some other strategic acquisitions that we will be doing in the near future.
Okay. Mr. Iyer, just one final word from you as well regarding your FCCB money. Where has that money been put to use?
Predominantly, the money that we have from the FCCB is going to be used for some strategic acquisitions we will be doing in markets in the U.S., UK, and other emerging markets, and also for some capex expenses we have in India for these large contracts that we have secured.
Okay, Mr. Iyer, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us details regarding the same. That's the management of Core Projects speaking about the FCCB money as well that they'll be using for further acquisitions. Speaking about good growth coming in from the US and UK markets despite the scenario over there. That's the stock of Core Projects. It's been buzzing over the last few days of trade. Today as well is up 3.5%. On that note, we are going to slip into a short little break once again. On the flip side, we'll be discussing and speaking to the management of Balaji Telefilms. Do stay tuned for all the action.